I've been asked to do more Santa Muerte videos, but I really don't know what to do because I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I know everything about her. I'm not gonna pretend that I know everything about, the practice or anything. I'm still very much a beginner. I've only started questioning what I believe a few years ago. So I've really only settled, well, not really even settled, I've only been content with what I'm doing for like the past year. So I really didn't delve too deep into anything until like last October. And I just want you all to know that, as much as I would like to help, I'm by no means an expert. And that's why I haven't done any videos on, okay, how do you do like a love spell, or how do you do a spell to get rid of an enemy, or how do you do a money spell, or how do you do a health spell, or how do you work with her to do this or to do that. I really honestly don't feel comfortable giving out that information because I'm not an expert. So, well, I'm not even a novice. I am still learning myself. I can tell you my experiences with her. I can tell you what I've learned. I can tell you what most people seem to feel. But if you want to know what kind of spells to do, what kind of workings to do, there's plenty of other resources on YouTube, and there's plenty of other resources online. You can look up the Ashera Star Goddess has some. Santa Muerte Magic, he's very knowledgeable. He's very dedicated too. Ryan Espich, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's got a lot of videos on her. Let me see who else. Santa Muerte Houston is beginning to post more videos. Who else? Let me see here. There's some older videos that I don't think that the YouTube people are very active anymore. But I have a public playlist called Santa Muerte English. You can go to my YouTube channel, and there's over 100 videos, and they're all obviously in English because most of the people that are messaging me are speaking English. Hey, if you speak Spanish, even better, because more knowledge is available to you. But you can go to that playlist, and I've got a lot of videos that are in English, all of which have the people that I mentioned in here a few seconds ago. And they're very informative, and they can give you all of the information you need. Now, let me tell you this. This is something I learned. You cannot, well, you can do whatever you want, but I would advise, along with anybody else that works with her, would advise, you don't come at her demanding shit, because you're not going to get it. Think of it like if you walked up to somebody and just started demanding something from them. Now, I'm not saying that she's just like a person, but I'm saying you have to come at any spirit or deity or whatever you want to constitute it as with respect, the same kind of respect that you're expecting to get back. So if you're having health issues and you call to her out of desperation, that's one thing. If you're having money issues and you're about to lose your apartment and you call to her out of desperation, okay, that's one thing. But, if your life is otherwise okay and you're doing it just because, you could use something else or you could use more, I would advise that you take your time and start to get to know each other. And by doing so, you'll develop a better relationship, and she will be more willing to help you out and help you out greatly. She comes through very, very well on her end of the bargain. She always does, and it seems she always will. Try to develop a relationship. Don't just come at her with, hey, give me this, what? And she's going to be like, dude, why? Why should I? Why do I owe you anything? Just like anybody else would get offended. There are plenty of books about her. If you just go to Amazon, you will look up, go and look on Amazon and look up Santa Muerte books. You can look Santa Muerte books English, and you will find more than a few very informative books. I would advise getting all of them. You know, I mean, if you're going to invest the time, might as well. And if you're coming into this journey, get all of the information that you possibly can from multiple sources. You want to hear from many different people what they feel, what their experiences have been. If you only speak English, I understand that this is going to be kind of difficult for you. And I understand that you may feel weird or kind of get those odd looks or whatever. But look, if you feel drawn to her, pursue her then. I don't know what to really say to people that say, I've tried contacting her and she doesn't get back to me. The only thing I can say is really try from really deep within you. Try from your heart. You know, you can't just, you know, plop yourself down on the couch like the way I'm doing right now and close your eyes and try to talk to her. I mean, you possibly could, but it's best if you put your all into it, you know. And maybe that's a weird thing with the realm of the metaphysical and all that sort of thing, is you may have received signs and didn't know it, and you don't realize it until a later date. Now, with that being said, it's one thing. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. Okay. Everybody's different, and everybody can see things their own way. It's entirely up to you. But, are you still recording? Yeah, okay. But, if you ask a spirit or a deity, or whatever the case may be, an angel, whatever, for a sign, it may not always be experienced visually. It may not always be experienced auditorily? It may be a dream, you know, a very profound dream, you know. Receiving a sign usually is going to be very intense. Not always, but most times, especially if you're asking for a sign for the very first time from an entity. You're going to see a sign would constitute as something that is out of the ordinary. If you ask for a sign from, say, Morgan, which is a war goddess who's correlated with crows, lots of ravens. If you live in an area that's infested with ravens and crows, and you ask Morgan for a sign, and then you happen to stumble upon a raven's feather, that, in my opinion, does not constitute a sign because it's not out of the ordinary. In my opinion, a vision has to be out of the ordinary. I've made this mistake myself. I really have. If I didn't have my boyfriend there to back me up, to be like, no, you're just trying to read into stuff. If he wouldn't have been there, I would have thought that everything was a sign. And it's not the case. So if you're asking for her to come to you, to talk to you, that sort of thing, if you really put your all into it, you will see something. You will hear something. You will dream something. You will feel something. And it's going to usually be out of the ordinary. Okay? As I was saying, there are plenty of sources online, Facebook groups. Go join Facebook groups. There are Santa Muerte Facebook groups in English online. Hey, and if you speak Spanish, even better, because you're going to get some old school information, which is what most people are looking for. There's books in English on Amazon. Go search Amazon. There are plenty of books in English, and I would suggest reading the reviews, and there's about a good 4, 5, maybe 6 that are great. So get those in your basket and get the hardcover. That way you can reference it later. I made the mistake of getting an ebook, and it's just not the same. And there's also YouTube videos. Like I said, I have a Santa Muerte English playlist of over 100 videos, all in English, for you to reference, for workings, for what to do with her, for how to approach her, for all of her history, for everything. So all of that information is available online. And also, I would suggest talking to different people about their experiences. Don't just go based off of what one person says. Go and talk to a lot of different people. Read a lot of different stories. That way you can kind of accumulate the information and form a somewhat knowledgeable base for yourself. So that's really all of the info I can give you until I can gather enough time and expertise on my own. I don't really foresee doing videos on how to do this spell with her, how to do that spell with her, and that sort of thing, because there's plenty of those other videos on YouTube. I can just give you my experiences. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient, and I'll see you in the next video.